Welcome, guys, once again. Uh, Before moving forward, I would like to discuss the things that we discussed during yesterday's session. Yesterday, if you remember, like most of the time, we discussed around the collection framework in C Sharp, in which we looked into the different collections. So here is a list of collections that we are looking into. For the previous sessions, like day before yesterday, we were looking into array list. Yesterday we talk about list, hash table, and dictionary. So yeah, I also like explain in detail what is the list, how it's like from which class we are importing this, and what are the data types that we can store inside this. Hash table is basically nothing but key value pair. And then further we also discuss the generic type dictionary and how to get all the elements that we have stored inside the dictionary, and little bit about sorted list as well. So this is all about the collection. That is enough for like so far. There are few more concepts that like sorted list, maybe stack. At the time of framework implementation, I'll try to use these concepts so you can get idea about these as well. Other than that, I have provided basic definition like what is queue, what is stack. This is first in, first out, means if like we are storing five elements, one, two, three, four, five. Then if we are going to get the elements, we need to print. For an example, we are printing the elements, then the first element would get printed at the first point, second, third, and fourth, and so on, like first in, first out. Okay, and in stack there is last in, first out. The fifth element would be printed at the first position. So these are very little kind of small kind of concepts. So we'll look into this further. But for now, in dictionary, at the end we were discussing. I know we were in some hurry, so we were discussing about the dictionary. So this is the basic syntax to define a dictionary. Here we need to provide the type. This is the type of key and type of the value that we are going to store inside this particular dictionary. For an example, we have this is an add method to add the elements. So this is Mohan. Mohan is in key. Key can be anything like its name or its kind of any reference. Okay, and the string we are referring its like what is the designation or a role for the Mohan. So Mohan is in programmer, Ankit is in QA, and Tom is in project manager. Okay, and further we also discussed that we cannot add these kind of values over here, like integer kind of key or like integer kind of or double kind of value, because both of the key and value should be string only. Okay, and furthermore we took one more example to understand that we can take a key and value pair of string and float as well, so where we have stored the value in this format. And this is the way we can print the keys and values. For this we should be using this key value pair. uh, okay, this is the type of employee list. Okay, so we have taken this key value pair, and by using this employee dot key and employee dot value, we like printed all the values. And if you just want to print the keys, then just write employee dot keys and let us mouse over to this. This will explain like which is the return type of this. So I'll explain you in the further session what is the return type. But like this keys is basically this type: dictionary string dot key collection. So that's what we have right over here: dictionary string dot key collection, and this is the reference of these keys. Inside these keys we will store all the keys, and then we can, by using for each loop, we can print all the keys. Similarly, we instead of keys we just took the values, store the values, and we can print the values. Further, as I explained you at the time of array list and some other kind of stuff. So there I already have explained you that we can use add method, remove method, clear method. You can verify contains key and contains the word, contains value. I would say. So these kind of methods I can use and perform the action. So I think we are good so far. So can I proceed, like move further, or do you have any questions so far? Also, like I give you some assignments, so I hope, I know that you were busy yesterday. So please try to complete this. Okay, and I'll also write you an email or maybe some text messages related to some other questions that on the topic that we have covered so far. Okay, so whenever you get time, like please try to practice all these questions. Okay, so I think can we discuss over next topic? Do you have any question on this so far? if you have in future, then you may ask at that time. But like currently, if you don't have any question, then we can move ahead. Ashwini, I want
Um,
your.
yeah, yesterday's session was little bit heavy for me. I need
Mhm.
more practice, and basically it is a time factor that is a problem, creating a problem for me. But I will
Okay.
practice and let you know if I have any questions on this.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Sure. Yeah, please do watch the video again and practice accordingly. This is
Yeah,
like the yeah, yeah. If you're good with this, then you can yeah, like you will feel comfortable in C sharp. So it's okay. Take your time and practice.
yeah.
Okay. So that's good. Thank you. Please. Okay. So today, from today onwards, we are going to discuss like real object-oriented things. For that, the like C sharp and Java, these kind of object-oriented programmings, they are known for. So from this session, basically, we are going to understand the basics, uh, like what is class, what is method, and all kind of stuff we are going to understand from this class onwards. So for that, let me create a new class. And for this class, let me take the name is like class and objects. Class and objects. Okay. This is basically nothing but my class name. Okay. So in dictionary, I have took the main method. So let me change it to public static void PICT anything. Let me close this. Yeah. Here we need to write the main method. Okay. Let us say we have public static void. Okay. And main. Let us say right. So for an example, if I write something, just say let us say int I is equal to 10. Okay. And if I'm going to let us say print this value, fine. This is very simple. So many times we have used this. But before printing this, I need to define one more variable, data type variable kind of this. Let us say I'm going to define this is my class. Okay. Basically this is in class. There is a class keyword before this. That's why we can see that like this is in class. So this is the body of class. This curly braces to this curly braces. This is the entire body of this class. This is an kind of like access modifier. I'll explain you later like what is access modifier, what is the internal does mean. So this is the default access modifier. As soon as you will create any class inside C sharp, you will this keyword internal will automatically get generated. That means internal is the default access modifier for C sharp classes. Okay. Now inside my class, we have one main method. Inside the main method, we are doing some operation like defining and variable and printing that. Okay. Before that, inside the class body, this is my method body, main method body from here to here, and this entire is my class body. So in my class body, we have one method, and inside my class body, I want to declare one more variable. Okay, just like let us say integer I is equal to 20. So there will be any error in this case, like we have defined I twice. First over here, directly inside the class, and the other one is inside a method, or we can say main method. So you can see there is no as such error thrown. If I'm going to print this, which value will get printed? I is equal to 20 or 10. Let us see. Let's execute it and see the output. Which value we will get. So this is building the solution. We have console window and we get 10 as an output, correct? So basically 10 got printed over there. So why what is this then? What does that mean? I is equal to 20 if we are getting this. So basically remember always this is called as local variable. Okay. This is known as class variable. There are two kind of variable over here. This is directly defined inside a class, that's why it's called a class variable. And this is like right inside a method, so that's why it's called local variable. Local means the scope of this variable is only limited to this method only. We cannot use this variable outside this method. But like the scope of this I, the class variable is global. We can use everywhere inside this class, like in some method and everywhere. Wherever we want to use this I, we can do that because this is a class variable and the scope is global. We can say the scope of this I is scope is global. Means inside this class we can use this I variable every time whenever we want. But like the scope of the local variable is not that much. This is limited to this method only. Okay, the scope is within the method. Okay, scope means we can use this I only within this method. This is a method. Okay, and this entire is in class. But the scope of this I is throughout this class. You got it? So this is no duplicate variable. This is a different variable and this is a different. This is local variable. This is global or class variable. Okay, that's why there is no as such error. So these are two different variables. Got it? So now my question is, if you want to use, just like if you printed 10 over here, if you want to print, like if you want to use this, you want to access the class variable, then how you will access this class variable? If you want to print or you need to do some operation, some addition, subtraction kind of stuff for this particular class variable, then how can you access inside this? So for that, to access the class variable, we always need the object. By creating the object of the class, we can access the class variable. Okay. So how to create the object? Okay. Let's understand the concept. To create the object, I'll explain you over here. Let us say access class variables. We need to create the object of class. Got it? Okay. So, so how to create the object of this class? Simply to create an object of the class, just what you need to write. First, just write the class name, then give a reference name that we are doing for like I, and these are the references. So just give a reference variable, just say for an example obj. You can put any name and write is equal to write new keyword. Okay, and again the class name and these double brackets and close the statement. So basically here what we have did, we have created the object of our class. Our class was class and object. This is the class name. And here what we are doing, class object is equal to new class object. So that means we have created the object of our class. Okay. Now, if I need to print the global variable, then what I need to do by using this reference variable obj dot, as soon as I will write the I over here, that means I have accessed this particular obj dot I. Okay. Let me do it like this. Okay. Let me print this obj dot I. Can I do it? Yes, I can do it. Now, if I am going to print this value, how I access the class variable? By using this reference. Okay, object reference we can say dot I. Then we should get 20 as an output over here. Okay. Okay, let's check if we are getting the correct output or not. Let me execute it again. Initially, we got 10 as the output, but now we should get 20 as well because, yeah, we got 20. That means we have successfully accessed the class variable. How we did that? First, we created the object of the class. Then by object reference, whatever, we can have multiple class variable over here like integer, string, boolean, everything. So by using the reference, we can call all the reference variable. If you don't want to assign the value over here, then you can assign the value here as well. Okay, but like just to understand it. So now let's understand in detail what is the class. Just like we have understood that class and object is my class. So class is nothing but a kind of template. So class we can say is a template, or we can say it's an blueprint, or it can be a category for the object. Okay. So class is not a real time entity. It's an, we can say it's not a physical entity. It's an imaginary entity, or we can say blueprint. For an example, animal. Animal is a class or object. So basically, animal is a class because animal is a kind of prototype or blueprint. But like I talk about buffalo, cat, dog, parrot, like these are these are real animals. So these are the objects. They are real time animals. But like animal is a generic word that can be referred to anyone. That's why animal is my class. That is in kind of category, and the specifically like cat, dog, cow, buffalo, these are my objects. So what is the object? Uh, the example of classes that we have, will look into this. And if I talk about the object that we just created, this is my object. So object is like physical entity. So it's an physical entity, or we can say should be created from class, class category or template. Got it? So basically, that we class is like just a template, and that this is a physical entity. Okay, for an example, if I got an order, like I have to develop 500 laptops. So for that, I'll create a blueprint first. Like where should be my USB cable should be inserted? How would my keypad look like? How much like the length of my screen and all. So first, I'll design a prototype in the paper. So that paper is blueprint, and then I'll create the real-time 500 laptops. That would be my object. So for an example, just like human, human is an object or class. So human is basically class because like it's, we can say it's a kind of template. Okay, human is a kind of template. Then the human body is basically an object. Okay, human is basically class, and you can say body. Or yeah, this might be an object. Okay, and for an example, animal, as I told you that animal is a class. This is a blueprint. There is no, just like we cannot say like which human. We don't know which human we are referring over here. So it's a general term, human. Similarly, animal is a general term. There could be any kind of animal. But like dog, cat, cow. So these are my objects. So these objects are created based upon the class. So physical entity should be created from class category. Got it? So these are like some small concepts of related to class and objects. So always remember class is an template, basically a empty template or a blueprint, and the object is a real time or physical entity that we have created from that. Okay. Now So basically, for an example, if I give you more example, then let us say employee is an class, right? Employee is not an, we can say, it's an object. Further, we can create number of employees. Okay, we can create number of employees from this. This would be my object. So like employee could be anything. It may be a peon or it may be manager. Everyone is employee. CEO, CTO, everyone is employee. So this is a general term. This is in class. And further, we can divide. We can create some objects by using these class. So those objects would be real-time employees. Okay, the specific employees. And for an example, customer is in class is general term. It's in class, but we can create multiple customers. Okay, that would be, or we can say that object. Okay, so every class will have properties which will be used to create objects. Just like this class has this kind of properties. Okay, so every class will have some kind of properties that will which we will use to create objects. For an example, let me explain it with some more interesting example. Let us say we have one more class called, okay, I didn't give any name, so it's default. Let me call it as employee class. Okay, yeah. So I have an employee class. Let us say I have different properties of an element, different template, I would say. Let us say I have string name of the employee. Okay, and let us say integer age of the employee, name is, and for an example, let us say I have string salary of the employee. Okay, and let it be like this. And for an example, I have boolean, let us say is permanent employee or not, is permanent or not. So just like in class and object, we define class variable. So these all are my, we can say, class templates or class variables. Okay, we have defined like this. Now let us say if you need to access these, then you must be need main method, public static void main. Okay, okay. Now this, the intelligence is already showing like employee is equal to new employee. You just need to click on tab. So this is how Visual Studio is beautifully designed. So if you want to access these variables, name, age, salary, in the previous class, as I explained you that if you need to access this, I need to create the object of this class. Similarly, if you need to access these templates or these property, can you hear me? Yes, I hope you can hear me. Okay. So to access all these templates, you just need to create the object of employee class first. Okay. Otherwise, you will not be able to access all these things. So how to create the objects? Simply, just we did, let us say emp1. This is my first employee is equal to new employee. So we have successfully created the employee over here. Got it? So what does that mean? Like we have, just like this is showing intelligence, we can create multiple objects. Okay, we can create multiple as much objects as we want over here. So for that, what is happening inside the memory, let me explain you. So our target here is to create multiple employees. So as soon as I will write this statement, let us say there is an like memory inside this, we can say and let me draw it first, then I'll explain. So we have, say, even is my reference variable. So basically, this object got created. This is my object. As soon as I write this line, employee emp1 is equal to new employee. So this object got created, and even is referring to this object. Okay. So what is even over here? So even is not object. Even is called object reference. Object reference is over here. It's even is not object. Always remember. Some guys used to like miss what is the object over emp1 is object. No, emp1 or even is not an object. We can say emp1 is an object reference. Let me type it like again. So it's emp1, and here we have object. What is the object? This new employee. This is my object basically. Okay. So this emp1 is referring to this employee, and what is emp1? As I told you that it's object reference. REFERENC. This is called and known as object reference. So it's very simple, just like my body. So my body is an object, but like Ankit, what is Ankit? Ankit is an object reference. You will know, like Ankit is not an object. Who is referring to my body? Ankit is referring to my body. So Ankit would be object reference, and my body would be object. Okay. Similarly, like new employee is object over here, and EMP1 is the object reference over here. You got it? So let me write over here for you. So for an example, what is E1 over here? EMP1 over here. EMP1 is object reference. Got it? And what is the object? Or the object is, or the right hand side value, RSS value. RSS means this new employee. Okay, this is my object. And what is this employee? We have understood this is the object reference. This is my object. Then what is this employee? So this employee is nothing but it's a class type. This is the type of EMP1. What is the type of EMP1? Can I say the EMP1 is string? No, we cannot say like this. If you will mouse over to this, then this will explain that it's coming from the employee class. So what is the type of EMP1? Just like what is the type of name? It's string. What is the type of age? It's integer. Similarly, what is the type of EMP1? It's employee. So employee is basically the type of EMP1, we can say. So let's write over here employee class. What is the employee class? It's like class, basically employees and class, and type of EMP1. Got it? So I hope you have understood this line. This is like important interview question. Sometimes they'll say just create an object of the class and explain this. What is EMP1? So like generally people used to do mistake like EMP1 is my object. No, this is not an object. It's object reference. Similarly, this new employee statement, this is an object. Okay. And like many times the people used to ask, like we will write that Chrome driver is equal to new Chrome driver. So people will ask you the explanation whenever we are going to write like what is the new Chrome driver. So we are creating the object of the new Chrome driver class. Then what is driver over here? So driver is an object reference. Okay. So these kind of thing that we will discuss later related to the Selenium. But first you understand the concept. So I hope you are good on this. Now let's move ahead, and let us say, so like how C sharp will work internally. So as I told you the concept of object, this is my object got created. As soon as my object will get created, so these are my template values basically. All these are my template values. So C sharp will copy all these value, Xerox copy, and will assign to the object. That means this is my object. So all the values now will be assigned to this object. Okay. So C sharp will internally copy all these values and assign to the class. Okay, variable we can say all the values will come to this particular object reference or class variable. Okay, object, and further we can access by using object reference. We can access by using object reference. So all the values we have now, the name, age, salary, that I explained in the class and object as well. Okay. So by object name, just like emp1 dot name, emp1 dot age, that kind of stuff we can do over here. Okay. Okay. So as I told you that C sharp have assigned all these values to this object, and by using this object reference, we can use all the values, or we can assign. For an example, these are empty values. We don't have any values. Here we have the value of I is already defined, just like 20 over here, but like this is an empty. So first we need to assign the values. For an example, we have created our first object called emp1. So I'll write it like emp1 is equal to emp1 dot. As soon as I'll write dot, I'll get all the properties of, or we can say class variables, just like name, age, salary, everything. So first let us I use name. Let me say my name is anything, just like okay. And now employee is, let us say 35. Yeah. And employee salary, let us say some double values, just like 50,000.12. Okay, let it take it some small value. So what is the type of salary we have to go here? So let us take it double. So see, like the same value. If I need to assign employee dot name, then there must be some string value. If I try to assign some integer or boolean, then this will not accept, because the type of name is the string that we have defined. That's why always like just we are defining 50.12. So this salary should be in double kind of, the data type of salary should be double. Then only we can assign this double kind of values. And let us say uh, the employee is permanent or not. So object emp1 dot is permanent. Okay, so we can define it like true and false. Let us say for an example true. Now I already have defined all. How did I access this value inside this method? So first I need to create an object. Then by using object reference, I assign the values. And if I further, if I need to, I want to print, because here all the values were empty. But now we have already assigned the values. If I need to print these values, then what can I do? Let us say just use emp1 dot. Let's print name. Okay, and give some space, concatenate some space, plus let us say emp1 dot let's print age over here, age of the employee. Again give some space to discriminate the output, and let us say emp1, you need to print the salary of the employee. Okay, again give some spaces over here, and last let us print the permanent status, that is permanent or not. So as soon as you are going to execute this, let us see what kind of output you are going to get. So here, let's start the execution. So yeah, you get the correct output. Your name is Arvind, employee.name, age is 35, salary is 50.12, and is permanent employee is true. So you see, like, how we access the class variable. To access the class variable, we created object. What is the object and class? I already have explained you. This is an blueprint or template kind of thing. These are the templates, class variable, and then we created. This is a physical entity. We created an object. New employees and object. This is an object reference and is type of my object reference. Okay, then we assign some values by using this object reference. We call all the like class variables. We assign some values, and we are trying to print this. Okay, yeah. Any questions so far, Aswini? Do you
No,
anyone know?
no.
Okay, that's good. Okay. So going forward, yeah, please be on mute. Just like I have created a method, okay, and I told you that class is a blueprint. So we can create multiple objects of a single class. Just like as I told you that animal is my class, and we can create multiple animals just like cat, dog. I have explained to you. Okay, so that's how it works. So just like we have created, just like we created blueprint of laptop, okay, some designing of laptop. By using that blueprint we can create hundreds and thousands of laptops. Similarly, by using this class, this is an our blueprint, we have created one object over here. So similarly we can create one more object. Let us say Uh, so it's very simple to understand. Just like if you need to let us let me explain you. Just like you need to assign, you need to create an home. Okay, for an example. So first, what will you do? You will go to any contractor, and contractor will give you a prototype design to you. Okay, this is how your house will look like. Okay, so you have a design. So basically, this particular design is uh, in class. You didn't have any real time house yet because you just have this house in paper only. But in future, you may create a real time like house like this. Okay, at your own end, you can create a real time house like this. Okay, and by using this template, for an example, you give this print to your one of your relative, and they also created same kind of house for them as well. Okay, so like you can create multiple houses by using this single blueprint. This is how the same thing we are doing over here. We have employee classes. This is in blueprint, and we created one employee over here. And similarly, we can create multiple employees over here by using the blueprint of the class. So let us say, can I write it like this? EMP1 is equal to new employee. So yes, I do it, but like the reference should be there is an error. Why? Because this like employee one we already have assigned for this particular employee. Okay, so the compiler will get confused. Okay, so that's why like we have employee one over here and employee one over here. So it's saying like please assign some new reference variable so it can discriminate. For an example, if you give the same name or tomorrow you want to execute emp dot, so which method you will be accessing, like from this object or from this object. That's why this should always be unique. The reference should always be unique, otherwise this will throw an error. Okay, now you have defined like employee 2 is equal to new employee. Okay, now for an example, if you want to print all these values, let us say instead of emp1 let us use emp2. Okay, if you want to print all the values, then what will be the output? Ashwini, I want your input over here. Like, what will be the output we are going to get? Are we going to get like something else, or like the same output, like Arvind 3550.12 over here?
No, I think we have to assign values for employee do. Uh, then only
Yeah,
we will get values.
exactly, exactly. You are right. Thank you. So here we have assigned the values to employee one, but like we don't have values for employee two yet. We haven't assigned any values. So let please be on mute. So I don't have assigned any value, and like simply if I run all these things, then let us see will I get any kind of error or what kind of output. One more concept I want to clear over here is that let us analyze the output what we got for the employee two. So let it be executed. Yeah. So what we get over here, we get 0, 0, and false. So from where these values are coming? So, Ashwini, remember you asked one question like, what is the default value of these? So these are the default value getting printed. This printed in blank space. then 0, then blank space 0, the space that we are providing. So like we we can say we printed these kind of values. So what is this printing? How is this printing? So basically, as I told you at that time as well, at the time of default values, let us say default values in C sharp. So let's say you can check over here. So the default value for, let us say, boolean is false, character is this kind of stuff, or let us say need to search some other article where it's clearly mentioned. Let's go to, yeah, maybe gigs. From here we can build over this concept as well. This is something that getters and putters. So yeah, we don't require all. So basically, what is happening over here? So just like uh, this is printing the default value for all these things. Just for an example, for integer, this printed like for integer and for salary, this printed 0. Okay, and for this, like the default value, this printed false. So, like if we will not assign the values, then always keep in mind that you will always be printed with the default value. Got it? Now, like for an example, if you assign one more property over here or one more class variable over here, let's say emp1 is equal to, let us say, not here, the class variable I'm talking about, let us say character kind of data something, let us say gender of the employee, whether it's male or female. Mhm. Yeah. So you see, like it depends upon you, like how many variables, how many class variables you want to use. Okay, if you have used two or three over here, that's okay. It's not required like you need to assign value to all of them. Okay, so for an example, you haven't defined this gender over here, like this is my gender. Yeah, I'm not using that. So inside employee, let me print this. What the default value will get printed for emp2 dot gender. Okay, in this case, let me execute it. What the output you get blank space or something else? So you should get blank space over here. So this is also giving you the blank space. Good. Yeah. So the particular gender is also giving you the like blank space. Okay. So yeah, this is how you can assign the default values to this if you want to print it. So I hope you get the concept like how to create objects, how to assign the values, how to print the values. But now let me tell you a very important interview question. Okay, and very important concept as well. So please have complete focus on this. Let me say I have a class. Let me create a new class itself. Okay. Let me. I'm going to create a new class over here, and my new class is, let us say, user class. Okay. I have created a class. In this class, I have my main method. Now, this class has some class variable, just like string name. Let us say we have defined the name over here, Tom, or we have say string is, let us say age is not a string, it should be integer. So we are not defining anything. Okay, and let took some more data just like string city, which city this belongs to. Okay, so you are defining this kind of value. Now, so like what is the problem with this code? So basically you can see that we like we already have defined the name for Tom. So as soon as we'll create multiple objects for this, so every object, like every user will not have Tom name. Okay, there should be some different name. So should not, we should try always try to avoid by giving direct name over here. Further, like whenever we are using these variables, at that time we need to declare these. And yeah, there is one more concept that is static properties that we are going to discuss in next section. In that property section, some values are like that we have to use throughout the program that will make them static and use. So we'll discuss that later. For now, let us understand that you have you have created one object. Let us say user. How to create the object? User is equal to new user. Let us say we have user one. Okay. Now you have defined the values. Let us say your name is equal to something like I don't know the spelling. Is it correct, Ashwini? And even dot is, let us say we have 34, and let us say city. Let us say you have Pune. Okay. So you have user class and you have created one user object and with all these details. Cool. Now let's say one more user we have. We have user two and u2 I'm going to define, let us say u2 dot name. Let us say we have Ankit. Okay. u2 dot is, let us say anything like 50. Okay. And city for an example, let us say Jaipur. Yeah. So what I did, I have created two objects. One is u1 and we have assigned these values. Now I have user 2 and let me create one more user. So let's take the object reference as u3. Okay. So like for u3, I would be write some other data just like u3. Let us say u3 dot name is equal to, let's see. Okay. u3 dot age. Let us say 25. And one more thing that we need to call is called city. Okay. And for an example, we have city as, we can say, let us say Bangalore. Bangalore. So why it's showing error? Because we have to give the integer values, not a string. Yeah. So cool. We have created three objects of this class. We can create multiple objects as I told you earlier, and every user have their own like values for the variables for the class properties. Okay, this have like Ashwini and all. So like what is there inside the memory? As soon as we write, we were having a class or three objects will get created. Okay, we have three objects. So this is user one, sorry, let me, this is object one, let us say, uh, this is our object one, or we can say u1, u2, u3, okay, and all these values, as I told you earlier as well, so these are like my class template values, class variables. This will be Xerox copy and will assign to all these objects, okay, and further, like by using this object variable, okay, we can access all these values. So this object will have their own name, age, city. This is having their own name, age, city, that we have defined name, age, city. That's how it will work. Okay. So total, how many objects we have? Total number of objects. Total objects. The count of total object is three, right? U1, U2, and U3. Although U1 is not an object, this is new user is an object. U1 is an reference to this object. Okay. For an example, I need to print these values. Let us say I am printing U1 dot name. Okay. Plus giving some space, and I am printing U2 dot is, and again I'm printing with some space. I'm going to print u, sorry, let's print the u1 value altogether. U1 dot cd. Cool. So all the data related to u1 should get printed. Similarly, if I need to print the value for u2, u2 is u2 cd, and u3 name, u3 is u3 cd. Cool. So the value that you have assigned, from here you just want to print all these values. Let's execute it and see the output, whether we are getting correct output or not. So yeah, I hope we got the correct output. We see Ashwini name is 34 from Pune, Ankit is 50 from Jaipur, Sasi is 25 from Bangalore. So the data is got printed in a particular manner that we have. So now, if I want to do like this, okay, u1 is equal to u2. Can we do like this? There should be any error? No. Yes, we can do that. That means what we are doing over here. This is called reference assignment. That means we are, this is our reference, okay, object reference. So we are assigning this u2 to u1. So we already have seen this kind of value, like we have integer a is equal to 10, integer b is equal to 10. Then if I need to assign there, like we have one more integer called c, then I can assign b to c, then the value of b would be assigned to c. Similarly, like all the values of u2 would be assigned to u1. So yes, this is possible in C sharp. We can, like reference variable can be interchanged. I will write like that. Reference variable can be interchanged. Okay. Now I have assigned the u2 to u1. So what would be my latest value? Let me copy this and print it again. Let's separate this with some stuff like this. What? Yeah. So now, what would be the latest value of u1? What do you think, guys? Like now I have assigned u2 to u1. So practically, as you should be aware of this, like all the values of u2 should be assigned to the u1. Okay, just like name, age, and city. Now the latest value of u1 and u2 would be same. So u2 would always remain the same, and now u1 has been become the u2. So let's execute it and analyze the output. what kind of output that we are going to get, whether u1 on u2 would be same or not. So yeah, it's correctly same. You can see initially my u1 was Ashwini 34 Pune, but now I have assigned this u2 to u1. So my u1 become u2. It's Ankit 50 Jaipur, and u2 is same like Ankit 50 Jaipur and Jassi 25 Bangalore. We haven't touched it. That's why it's same. Okay, that means we are referring the okay. We are like interchanging the reference variable. Now, for an example, what if I do like this? Let us say u2 is equal to u3. Okay, what I'm doing over here and print all the values again. What I'm doing this time? This time here I was assigning the value of u2 to u1. Here what I'm doing, the value of u3 is being assigned to u2. So the u2 will also get changed. We have already changed the u1. Now we also changing the u2 with the u3 values. So all the values should get changed, and like we haven't touched the u3 yet. So let's execute it in and analyze the output. So output is like that. I got Ankit Jaipur. That is right. These are the values of u2 because I have changed, replaced my u1 with u2. Now the value of u2 will get replaced by u3. Okay, because I have assigned u3 to u2. Wrote it, got it, and the end like Jassi 25 Bangalore would be same. This is u3 and we haven't changed it yet. Correct? Okay. Now let me write one more statement over here. Now what I'm going to assign, let me assign u3 is equal to, let us say u1. Okay. Now I would like to ask you like what would be the output. Till now you have understand this correctly. Now I'm assigning the value of u1 to u3. So what kind of values we should get? The u1 initially was like Ashwini. Then u1 become u2. That means u1 become Ankit. Now again we are assigning u1 to u3. So Ankit would get assigned to u3, or like the latest u1 is like u1. The initial u1 was Ashwini. So Ashwini will get assigned to u3, or Ankit would get. Let us analyze the output by executing this. We need to analyze the latest output. Yeah. So you see over here, we assigned u2 to u1. That is correct. The same value that we printed over here. And the u3 we have assigned to u2. So we are getting the Jassi values. Now you see, this particular value will come over here because my latest u1 is this value, not the Ashwini's values. So the latest value of u1 will get assigned to u3. Okay. I hope you have understood this. This is all about the practice. So let me come to the conclusion. What is the conclusion over here? So the conclusion is that any object can have multiple references. The conclusion is that any object can have an object we can say an object can have multiple references. Got it? So like we can have multiple objects, but like a single object can have multiple references. Just like in C, like in Selenium, what we are doing, we are saying that the Chrome driver is equal to new Chrome driver, right? And we are writing like uh, Firefox driver. This is Chrome driver is equal to new Chrome driver. Firefox driver is equal to new Firefox driver, right? And we are also will write just like IE driver is equal to new IE driver. Got it? So what we are doing over here, we have like multiple objects, Chrome driver object, Firefox driver object, but the object reference is same everywhere. It's driver, driver, driver. So that's what we learn this thing from here. An object can have multiple references, okay, and we can like have multiple references for this as well, multiple references for this as well. So this is how like we can understand this particular concept. Okay, so you have got basic idea about like what is the class and what is the object. Okay, so like what is the conclusion related to object reference? Object reference and let us say object reference like it would be no reference. Can we create an object without any reference? Yes, true. We can directly create like this only. Just like if you don't want to create any reference variable, then you can directly write it over here. Just like I'm writing new user. This will not throw any error. This is also an object. Okay. So we can create object without any reference. Okay. But like to use that, it's good to give the particular reference object or not. Yes, without no reference, we can create an object. So can we create an object with one reference? It's also true, just like we did user one, we have u1 for user two, u2. These are one references. Can an object have multiple references? Yes, this is also true. That we just understood. Like we are giving the multiple references again, assigning the u2 to u1, so you would have multiple references. So all these statements are true. An object can have no reference, one reference, or multiple references. Got it? So this is all about the class and object. Please practice it, and you will get an idea. Quickly, I would like to discuss about that function as well, like function in C sharp. So can we have 15-minute class like more, or you are good? Like, what's your take on this, Ashwini? Can we go like, can we have 15 minutes more to understand the concept of function? What is function?
Yes, you can have.
Okay, thank you. So, so I think you are comfortable in now what is object and what is class, and how to access the class variable, how to assign the values to these, and how to print and use it. Now let me create one more class. In this class, we are going to understand like function in C sharp. Let us say function in C sharp. So now, so many times we were using like man method, and you will get to know that how what we are doing over here. Let me close all this stuff. Yeah. So as I told you that, and default class got created that we have created. The default access modifier is internal. This is our class. Okay. So now to understand the function, you first create that man method. Function and method both are same. Like there are two different name of method. We can call it as function and method, whatever we want. Generally, we used to call it as method in C sharp. In other languages like C++, that time we were calling it function. So let us say public void man. You have man method over here. Now you need to create methods or functions, I would say. Function, either function or method. Both are same. Okay. So always remember there are some facts about the method. You can't create function inside a function or method inside a method. Okay, just like if you need to create a method, in the previous class we were creating objects, now we are creating methods. Okay, so if you want to create, this is also kind of method, but if you want to create one more method inside this, then C sharp will not allow. You cannot create one method inside another method. Got it? And other fact is that yes, you cannot create, but you can call the function from other function. Call the method from another method. Call it from, like you have five methods. You can call the fourth method over here, but you cannot create a new method inside this. We'll look into it practically. Okay. So always remember this is man is also an method. So basically there are three type of major, like three are major type of methods. Okay. The first that we are going to discuss in this session, the first type is no input and no return function. No input and no return method. Okay. What do you mean by no input and no return? I'll explain. First, you should be aware like how to create a function. So just like we created template, we were discussing the class and objects. So and after that we have discussed, yeah. So just like you define some template over here, this is kind of variable that we have defined. Similarly, these are also like a part of the template. So just like we created class data, class variable or data variable, similarly and the similar way the function will also get created. So to create the function, this is my syntax. Look into it. First we need to write the access modifier. Thus we write for the class, just like internal class. Similarly we need to give access modifier to this, and then there would be the type. So void, I'll explain you this void. Void means no return, no return method. We are not returning anything from this method. Public void and give some meaningful name, just like we have test method. Okay, let us say we have test method. Always use these parentheses and give a body to this method. Okay, so this is an empty method. We have one method. Always remember the type, we can say access modifier. We can, this will define, will in the further session I'll explain you that this method can be public or private or internal or anything whichever you want. Based on that we can access, maybe in this class or other classes, so we can access this test. So over here we have public method. Void means this will not return anything, and test, test is a name of any variable, and inside this parenthesis we haven't like write anything, just like string and all. That means we are not taking any kind of input. And void refer to no return, means we can perform some action inside this method, but this method will not return anything. Okay, how? Now let me print something. Let us say I am printing like test method, and I have some operation as well inside this. Let us we define, so here I equal to 50. Let us, this I is a class variable or a local variable. Obviously it's a local variable because we have defined this I inside a method, not directly inside the class. That means it's a local variable that I just taught you. Local var. Okay. Now if you want to print this as well, this local variable, let us say if you want to print I as well. So what you have written so far, you have written a, you have created one method. Okay, This is a method body. You are not giving any
Mm.
input to this.
Hello, Aniket.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
I'm not. Your screen is like static. I'm not able to see whatever you're writing on the screen. What happened? I
Or you are
don't.
not. Okay,
Only
okay.
I can see empty test, void test method.
Okay. Let me share it again. Let me know if you can see now. Is it visible?
No. Okay. Now it is visible. Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's cool. So yeah, thanks for accelerating this. So I did nothing. Like I just created an object, public void test. Here I took void because we are first we are understanding no input and no return method. So we are not taking any input. We will always take input from this parenthesis. So we are not taking any input over here. And return means we are not writing any return statement inside this, return keyword inside this. Means this particular method will not return any kind of values. So this is an no input and no return method. Got it? So the name of our method is test method. This is an access modifier of method. This will always show the type of method. So what is the return type of this? This is void. Void means there is no return type. Now, if I'll execute this program, okay, if I'll execute this program, then what kind of value will I get? Will that test method and I will get printed, or will I get some other kind of values? Let me execute it and see what kind of values I'll get. So please be focused on these sessions. These are very important. So we have executed this and we are going to analyze. So you see, you didn't get any uh, like anything printed over here. You got a blank output. You got, you can say blank output. Why you got that? Because in the initial session, I already have told you that as soon as you will execute any program, let us say we have our compiler. Okay, so the compiler first initially will just go to the main method. This will find where is the main method. So this will locate on the compiler will go to the main method. This will not go, the compiler will not go to the test method. Okay, this will only go to the main method and will only check the things that we have written inside the main method. So main method is empty. We don't have anything over here. Okay, so that's why that is printing blank. Compiler is not aware of this. Like compiler don't know what is written over here and over here. Compiler will always check the main method, what is written inside the main method. That's why we created the object of inside the main method. We access the class variable, print inside the main method. Every operation we are doing inside the main method. So, but in this case, like you can see that main method is empty. That's why we are getting the blank output. So to get the output, what we need to do, just like we accessed, we access. Can you hear me? Swini, I hope you can hear me.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. So just like uh,
Yes, I am able to hear you.
okay, okay. Just like over here, we have defined a class variable, and to access this inside main method, we created the object of this class by using the class object reference. Okay, object reference. This was object of the class, and by using object reference, I use these class variable. Similarly, this is also a kind of class template, or we can say class method. So to use this, we need to create the object of this class. Okay, just like how to create the object, just like write class name and let us see function or method is equal to new. Okay, if you need to access this, you can do it. How you will do this? This is like the object reference dot As soon as you will put dot inside this, all the method name or you may just like you can have some variables just like int I is equal to 10 that we have seen. So all just like j is equal to 10. So as soon as you will write function, the object reference dot function dot just a second. As soon as you will write function dot, so you will get like if you need to get I or you need to get j or you need to get the test object that we have created. Everything you will get. You can access okay by using the object reference. You got it? Now if you are going to print this, let me print it, let me execute it again and see the output. Whether you will get blank or correct output this time. So this time you see the test method and 50 got printed. Initially the output was blank, but now you everything got printed. How? Similarly that I have explained to you. This is your compiler. First, where this will go? This will go inside the main method, and then we'll execute the code line by line. This will execute first line, second line inside the main method. So first it came inside the main method, then it will see, oh, the object of this class has been created, function. Okay. Then by the reference, we are calling this method. Then the compiler will go inside this method. But like first, which method is always getting executed? The main method only, public static void main. This is our second method. We can create multiple methods. Okay. So then from here, function dot test, this will go inside this main method, will execute this line, will read this and will print this I. This is how the entire execution will take place. Okay. So as you, I hope you have understood, need to create object of class. Okay, to access this, when to access then this particular method. That's why I put in can call the method from another method. So we are calling the test method from the main method. We are calling method from another method. This main is an another method. This test is an another method. So we are calling test method inside the main method. How to call that? For that we need to create the object of the class. By using the object reference, you can call that. Got it? Okay. So no returns. Here you can see that no returns means there is no return keyword we have right. Although we are printing those value, we are not getting return. These are not returning. We are just doing some operation. Return means we are getting anything from here. No, we will not get anything from here, but we are just like printing all these values. This kind of stuff we are doing. Okay. So like where do we use all these methods? For an example, you need to click on an element. So at that time, you will not require any output from that method. You just go and click over there. So that method will not return. Neither will send any input inside that, neither that will return anything. So this is no input and no return method. You got it? For an example, you say you want to print something. Just say you just create one more method, public, always write it like public void. Let us say get print. Okay. You need to print something. For that, always remember like if you have two keywords, one is get and one is print. So try to start the first keyword with small letter and the second with P. Either it will not give any error, you can do it like get print, but like it's best practice in C sharp. So anyone can easily understand it. Get print. The P is print. Okay. Now let's print something. Console.write line. Let us say print my papers. Now, if we have how many methods we have? We have one main method and two other methods. One is test, another one is the print method. You can see this is the reference. The one reference is generated over here. That means this method has been called from the main method, but this is have zero reference means we haven't used this method anywhere. So to call this, just like if you want to print this line, what you need to do again, you already have created the class object, so you need not to create object again, but just by using the reference of this class. Okay. By this, by the reference of this class, let us say function, you can just put the dot and you will get what was our method, get print. Or we getting, yeah, get print. So first we created the object by using the same reference object we calling test, and now we are calling get printed. So our compiler will first come inside the main method, will check object has been created, then will print whatever there inside the test method. Then after executing this line, the compiler will come to this line. Okay, will go inside the gate from here, will go inside the get print and will check what is there written inside the get print and will do the operation. Okay, let us analyze the output. So over here we will get test method 50. That is the output for from first method, and print my papers. This is the output of second method. So I hope you get an idea about this, like no input and no return method. Okay. Now the second type is like no input but some return. Let us say the second type of methods are no inputs but some return. Okay. So the syntax is also kind of similar for these. You can define. Okay, let me create one more method just like.
Hello, Aniket, can we stop over here because I think I have to join another meeting.
Okay, okay, that's sure. Okay, so tomorrow we'll start from here. First, we'll understand that no input but some return type,
Thank you,
and
madam.
third input with like some return type. So we'll do that from
Thank you,
tomorrow onwards.
breakfast.
Okay. So thanks for joining the session. I hope that is enough for you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay.